Reuben Abati at 60, Jonathan Obasanjo and Alex Otti celebrate a voice that helped shape Nigerian story. Imagine Lagos wrapped in the soft glow of a new morning. The sun has not yet climbed high, but the city already hums with that familiar restless energy. Cars move past the venue, security teams check corners, and journalists move with practiced urgency. The air feels thick with anticipation. Something important is about to unfold. Inside the hall, warm lights bathe the space in a golden tone. Chairs shine like polished storybooks, waiting to be opened. Cameramen test angles. Producers whisper to reporters. Every corner of the hall carries the same quiet message. Today belongs to a man whose voice has traveled through Nigeria for decades. Today is the 60th birthday of Dr. Reuben Abati. As he walks into the venue, applause rises in waves. You can almost hear the story of his life unfolding in the echoes. From his early days as a fearless writer, to his years as a presidential spokesman, to his present place as one of Nigeria's most listened to analysts, Abati has lived a life woven tightly into Nigeria's history. Former President Goodluck Jonathan enters with calm steps and his warm familiar smile. Even in a crowd, Jonathan always has this gentle way of walking, as if he's trying not to disturb the air. He greets people one after another, exchanging soft handshakes, nodding thoughtfully. When he steps up to speak, the hall softens. He talked about Abati not as a staff member, but as a partner in truth. Reuben never hides from difficult conversations, Jonathan says. In the most challenging moments of my administration, he stayed honest. He always reminded me that leadership must face the public with clarity. People in the room nodded deeply. Many remember those tense press briefings, those late nights of crisis communications, those fragile national moments where the voice at the podium mattered greatly. Jonathan returns to his seat. His tribute settles over the room like a warm cloth. Moments later, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, walked in. With lively step, he enters with that same confident energy he is known for. He laughs loudly, taps shoulders, raises hands in greeting, and fills the room with his strong presence. When Obasanjo speaks, his voice carries humor and weight. Reuben has given me tough times, he jokes, prompting loud laughter. Because he writes boldly, he questions everything, but that is what a regionalist must do. His words underline something powerful. Many journalists shy away from powerful leaders. Abati did not. His pen walked straight into the storm and refused to break. Obasanjo's tribute feels like a stamp of respect coming from one of the Nigerian's strongest political figures. Then Governor Alex Otti stepped forward. His entrance feels different. Younger energy, future-minded tone. He speaks like someone studying tomorrow with a magnifying glass. Dr. Abati is proof that you can work with leaders and still keep your voice. Otti says, he has shown that honesty and public service can work side by side. He talks about the importance of public thinkers. He praises Abati for being one of the few who can help a nation understand itself when everything feels confusing. The room listens closely. More tribute followed from friends, colleagues, and longtime media partners. Each speaker paints a different part of Abati's life. One remembers the young columnist at The Guardian, writing with a fire that made people wait for his next article. Another recalls the bold broadcaster on national TV who could slice through political fog with clarity. Someone also talked about his time in Aso Rock, balancing pressure, politics, and truth like a man walking across a thin rope stretched over a restless river. And together, the stories create a full portrait of a man who has spent his life trying to help Nigerians understand their world. Somewhere halfway through the event, the atmosphere shifts, conversations soften, cameras lower slightly, people began to reflect. Someone whispers, Reuben has shaped this country more than people realize. You can sense it. The weight of legacy rises slowly, like steam from warm ground. Young journalists in the back watch with wide eyes. Veteran editors sit quietly, talking in the moment. Broadcasters remember their early days, learning from his styles. It became more than a birthday celebration. It becomes a moment of national reflection. Finally, Reuben Abati stands. He takes the microphone and he pauses. Not for show, not for drama, but because he is thinking. Then he begins. He talks about his early journey, about the long nights, when writing felt like carrying a heavy lamp through a dark forest. He talks about challenges, mistakes, lessons, and the importance of staying honest, even when the world tries to bend you. I thank Nigerians for giving me a voice, he says softly, and I thank everyone here for listening over the years. That is not something I take for granted. He calls on young journalists, protect your voice, let it be clean, Let it be brave. Let it be useful. His words feels like a blessing, a charge, a final note written on the heart of every journalist in the room. Once Abati finishes, applause breaks out again and fills the hall like a rising tide. People stood, cameras flashed, smiles brightened. Then the energy shifts to celebration. Tables opened, food arrived, old friends reconnected, groups gathered in corners to discuss Nigeria, media, politics, and life. Leaders who once stood on the opposition side of the national arguments now sit together sharing stories. And Abati moves gently through the room, greeting each person with gratitude. As the evening deepens, quieter scenes unfold. A young reporter approaches him nervously, asking for an advice. Abati listens carefully, answers slowly, and smiles with kindness. A veteran broadcaster reminds him of a moment years ago when his writing shifted public opinion. A childhood friend recounts their early days, dreaming of the future. These small moments reveal something deeper. Abati's journey has not only shaped national conversation, it has shaped individual lives. As the event winds down, you can feel the final theme sitting in the air. Reuben Abati is not celebrated because he shouted the loudest. He is celebrated because he thought deeply, he questioned strongly, he wrote clearly, he spoke truthfully, and he carried his voice with responsibility. At 60, he stands at the center of a hall filled with presidents, governors, leaders, journalists, thinkers, friends, critics, and admirers. A man who has lived through the hearts of Nigerians' public conversation. A man stepping into a new decade with a steady, bright flame. Reuben Abati at 60, a true media legend. Which part of Reuben Abati's journey speaks to you most? His strong writing, his calm voice on national TV, his time guiding communication inside Aso Rock, or his ability to stay steady through all seasons? Share your thought below. Please like, share, and comment on this video. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you never miss a moment that shapes Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay calm, and stay updated.